AMP value Jibber to $0.035 a coin. The present exchanged cost range, .033 and .Jibber ointment 36. The earlier day closed at .Jibber papaya 33. The change was Jibber as 2, Jabber 6. 6 Jibber. Opposite rate. Ice to Jibber. Jibber estimate for November 2024. First and foremost cost at $0.19. Exorbitant costs of .019, while low costs of .Jabber 15. They found the middle value of costs of .Jibber 17. AMP cost estimate toward the month's ends of .016. Change for Jabber 15.8%. AMP cost Jibber for December 2024. To start with cost at $0.Jibber $0.16. Exorbitant cost Jibber .016, while low costs are .013. They found the middle value of cost Jibber .015. AMP cost estimate toward the Jibber ends of .014. Change for December 12.5%. AMP Jibber for January 2025. To start with cost at $0.Jibber $14. Exorbitant costs are .016, while low cost Jabber .014. They found the middle value of costs of .Jibber 15. AMP cost estimate toward the month's ends of .Jibber 015. Change for January 7th. 1 Jibber. AMP cost Jibber for February 2025. To start with cost at $0.Jibber $15. Excessive costs of .Jibber 018, while low costs are .015. The arrived at the Jibber of costs of .016. AMP cost conjecture toward the month's ends of .017. Change for Jabber 13th. 3 Jibber. Jibber conjecture for Walk 2025. At the Jibber cost at $0.017. Excessive cost Jibber .021, while low costs are .017. The arrived at the midpoint of costs of .Jibber 19. AMP cost conjecture toward the month's ends of .02 Jibber. Change for spring 17.6%. AMP cost expectation for Jibber 2025. In the first place cost at $0.02 Jibber dollars. Exorbitant cost Jibber .021, while low cost Jibber .019. They found the middle value of costs of Jibber 20. AMP cost gauge toward the month's end Jibber .020. Change for April's of %. Jibber gauge for May 2025. To start with cost at $0.02 Jibber dollars. Exorbitant costs of .025, while low cost Jabber .020. They found the middle value of costs of .Jibber 022. AMP cost gauge toward the month's ends of .Freedom Jibber 23. Change for May 15th. A Jibber. AMP cost Jibber for June 2025. Before all else cost at $0.023 Jibber. Excessive costs of .Jibber 29, while low costs .023. The Jibber at the midpoint of cost are .026. AMP cost figure toward the month's ends at .027. Change for June Jabber. 4 Jibber. Freedom Jibber for July 2025. At the outset cost at $0.Jibber $0.27. Excessive cost Jibber .029, while low costs are .025. The Jibber at the midpoint of costs are .027. AMP cost conjecture toward the month's ends at .Jibber 27. Change for July's in %. AMP cost Jibber for August 2025. Initially cost at $0.Jibber $0.27. Excessive cost Jibber .030, while low costs are .026. The arrived at the midpoint of costs at .Jibber 028. AMP cost figure toward the month's ends at .028. Change for Jabber 3rd. 7 Jibber. Jibber figure for September 2025. Initially cost at $0.Jibber $28. Excessive cost $2.Jibber 031, while low costs are .027. The arrived at the midpoint of costs are .Jibber 29. AMP cost gauge toward the month's end ointment .Jibber 029. Change for September 3rd. 6 Jibber. AMP cost Jibber for October 2025. To start with cost at $0.Jibber $29. Exorbitant costs are .034, while low costs are .Jabber 029. They found the middle value of costs of .Jibber 031. AMP cost gauge toward the month's ends at .032. Change for Jabber 10th. 3 Jibber. AMP Jibber for November 2025. To start with cost at Jibber $0.032. Exorbitant costs of .Jibber 35, while low costs are .031. They found the middle value of cost of points in Gibber 33. Gibber cost gauge toward the month's end 0.033, change for November 3rd. 1 Gibber. AMP cost Gibber for December 2025. In the first place costed $0.033. Gibber costs $0.036, while low costs $0.032. They found the middle value of cost Gibber $0.034. AMP cost gauge toward the month's end $0.034, change for December 3rd. Gibber percent. AMP gauge for Gibber 2026. In the first place costed $0.034. Exorbitant costs $0.034, while low costs $0.030. They found the middle value of costs $0.033. AMP cost applesauce toward the Gibber ends at $0.032, change for January 5.9%. AMP cost expectation for Gibber 2026. First and foremost cost at 0.032 Gibber. Exorbitant costs are 0.032, while low costs are points in Gibber 25. They found the middle value of cost of points in Gibber 29. AMP cost estimate toward the month's end 0.027, change for February Gibber 0.6%. AMP Gibber for Walk 2026. First and foremost cost at Gibber $0.027. Gibber costs are $0.033, while low costs are $0.027. They found the middle value of cost Gibber $0.030. AMP cost estimate toward the month's end Gibber $0.031, change for spring 14.8%. AMP cost Gibber for April 2026. Before all else costed are points at Gibber $31. Excessive costs are points at Gibber 39, while low costs are $0.031. They arrived at the midpoint of cost Gibber $0.034. AMP cost figure toward the Gibber ends at $0.036, change for April 16th. 1 Gibber. Gibber figure for May 2026. Gibber cost at $0.036. Excessive cost Gibber $0.036, while low costs are $0.029. They arrived at the midpoint of costs at $0.033. AMP cost figure toward the month's ends at $0.031. Change for May Gibber 0.9%. AMP cost expectation for Gibber 2026. In the first place cost at Gibber $0.031. Exorbitant costs are $0.031, while low costs are $0.024. They found the middle value of cost Gibber $0.028. AMP cost gauge toward the month's ends at $0.026. Change for June 16.1 Gibber. Gibber estimate for July 2026. First and foremost cost at $0.026. Exorbitant cost Gibber $0.028, while low costs are $0.024. They found the middle value of costs are points in Gibber 26. AMP cost estimate toward the month's end $0.026. Change for July's and points in Gibber.